Hi, welcome back to another edition of Exiles TV, he said as he dramatically took off his eyeglasses. I'm Kevin, he's Bill.
You have
Glad
to
to
do the
have you with us.
sweep when you do that.
The sweep? Oh, you mean like the Superman?
Well,
Great Scott.
Think Superman and Leslie Nielsen.
Like that?
Yeah. There you go.
Now he ain't Clark no more.
Yeah.
What I loved was in the movie Airplane, Robert Stack does the dramatic, takes off his sunglasses. He's got a smaller pair of sunglasses
Exactly.
on underneath.
And Lloyd
Yipes.
Bridges. Looks like I picked the wrong day to stop sniffing glue.
Looks like I picked the wrong week to give up barbiturates.
Yeah. It's funny stuff.
Yeah. Well, welcome in. We've got some news going on. I don't know how much I want to discuss the top story in America right now. That's the second impeachment trial. Bill and I were discussing it before the show, and I think I want to take a wait and see for a couple of days here.
Yeah, I want to see what happens today at least.
I think it's pure theater. I think that the whole idea of impeaching someone who's left office, that's...
Well, again, everybody's...
Impeachment is about getting rid of the sitting president.
Everybody,
right?
well, no, impeachment is a legal standalone action that can get rid of somebody who's in office, but it can also carry other consequences.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's going to split hairs over this. The Republicans that don't want to say anything bad are going to say, well, I'm not going to vote because it's not constitutional.
Oh, no, every one of them should vote.
Well, but this is their cover.
If it's not constitutional, then go in and vote no.
Well, they will, but I mean, that's their cover. And then you've got the people saying, well, you can't impeach someone who was out of office. He was impeached before he left office.
Mm-hmm.
The impeachment was delivered before he left office.
Well, sure.
And the trial can happen anytime the Senate wants to have it.
What I'd like to know, Bill, is what's the evidence?
Well, that's what we're going to see, aren't
What's the evidence?
Yeah.
You got a sound bite? Do you have a piece of videotape?
Well,
What's the evidence?
that's what we're going to see. And I don't think we are. And everybody says there's not going to be an affirmative vote on this.
I've heard some people say 50-50 chance that it could go.
Oh, God, no.
But there are others that say no, it's never
I
gonna
think it's 80-20 against, 80-20 against.
It's all political theater. But,
Sure it is.
It'll be interesting to see what kind of a freak show we have for the next couple of days here anyway.
Speaking of political theater, which we'll get to in our next segment because our time is running down here, I do want to say something that is interesting to some segments of Baton Rouge, also of Lafayette, also of Lake Charles, and I know we don't get into Houston and get into Katy, but this...
We make Jennings.
We do hit Jennings. I don't think Jennings has warrants for this guy, but there are a host of people that are waiting for a serial burglar who was apprehended with the help of East Baton Rouge Parish Sheriff's deputies in Katy, Texas. And let me get his name up for you here. What he was doing was he was burglarizing houses on golf course communities.
Wow, I know somebody who lives in a golf course community.
Yes, but he was also a good professional burglar, and he was going to
Tidy up afterwards, or what?
What?
He tidy up afterwards.
Well, no, he wanted to have a good escape plan. So they were all very near I-10. His name is Justin Joseph Andrews. He is alleged to have committed 26 burglaries in the Santa Maria golf course development.
26.
And 14 in the Country Club of Louisiana. He had a very, very specific modus operandi that was identifiable to each of these crimes, in that he would use the golf course side of the house as his entry. He would escape alarms by using a fixed bathroom window that usually didn't have an alarm sensor on it.
Wow.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
He would then barricade the master bedroom door, only take things from the master bedroom, which is where most people, unfortunately, keep their valuables.
A lot of your most valuable stuff, jewelry, guns.
He took cash. He took high double-digit thousands in jewelry, maybe even six-digit thousands in jewelry.
Go big or go home.
That's right, go big or go home. And he took firearms. Now, what is interesting is I, of course, asked Crime Stoppers. I asked Johnny Dunham about this a few weeks ago. and he said they're working all kinds of hard leads on this. They found out they had the same MO in Lafayette, I believe at Le Triomphe Golf Course, which has got a couple of 4-lane highways that are very nearby. They had the same thing in Lake Charles. I'm not as familiar with their communities that are near I-10.
There's one near 210.
Yeah, okay.
One very close to 210.
Same thing in Houston and in Katy. And apparently somebody in Katy kind of squealed and said, we think we know who you're looking for.
Really?
And so EBRSO, because we had the most cases, went to Katy with the U.S. Marshals and the Katy police. They located this guy, they waited for him, and they hooked him up. He will be tried, as I understand it, in East Baton, or at least indicted in East Baton Rouge Parish first.
Okay.
Then,
So what was his modus? Would he be in town for a couple of days and hit a bunch of places and then move on down the line and then come back? Or?
Let me tell you what. A lot of the law enforcement people that have talked to, and I live in a golf course community, but there's no easy access to the interstate.
Long way from the interstate.
But we had some conversations, and there were a lot of folks that thought it was an organized ring, and that they had an inside man or woman. Like when the first hit in CCL and Santa Maria, they said, look, if you're going to be out of town, particularly over a Saturday night, make sure your alarm is set and let us know so we can have extra security around your house. They were thinking that there was somebody inside that office that, okay, the Gallaghers are going to be out, the Mannings are going to be out, the Buggses are going to be out, and they would sometimes do 2 or 3 in a night.
Wow.
There were some fleeting glimpses of one person only, though, dressed like a ninja, out on the golf course.
See, if I see anybody dressed like a ninja and it's not Halloween, I'm calling the cops.
Yeah. But this guy was pretty good at what he did. They did have the last burglary in East Baton Rouge Parish. He made a mistake, and he walked up to a front of a house and didn't see the Ring spotlight camera.
Oopsie.
And the spotlight went on, and the camera went on, and they got a pretty good description of height, weight, build. And that's when he decided that maybe he needed to move it on down the road a little bit.
Maybe so.
But
well, I'm glad he's in custody.
I am too. Well, it was just a matter of time before somebody got hurt. It really was. I mean...
Well, there's always that time when you think nobody's home, but you find out somebody is very much home.
Or you're in the bedroom, in our bedroom of our home. If you were in there, you would not hear us come through the door that links to our garage. You just wouldn't. You can't even hear the doorbell on the front door from that bedroom. And if I were one of these people that doesn't leave my gun in my car, and I'm coming in for the night, I've got it in my hand. And he gets the oh poops and decides to run toward me, he's going to get capped.
Yep.
It was just a matter of time. That somebody was going to get hurt, it was probably going to be him. Because if you're a burglar, you do not want to have a firearm on you when you get caught in somebody's house. You go wait a long time for that.
Time for a quick break. Take care of some business. We will be right back with more on Exiles TV.
No one can stop me when I taste the feeling. Nothing could ever bring me down. Nothing could ever bring me down. Taste the feeling.
Hi, I'm Bobby Yarborough with Manda Fine Meats. Here at Manda, we know what the folks of South Louisiana love. They love great flavored smoked sausage, delicious deli meats, and specialty items like boudin and andouille sausage. Manda Fine Meats has been providing these products since 1947. We produce them right here in Baton Rouge, so you know you're always getting the freshest product at your local grocery store. Manda Fine Meats. Taste the fresh local flavor in everything we make. Make it Manda every time.
Hey now, give it your best.
Hey, welcome back to Exiles TV. Bill Profit over there and Mr. Gallagher over here. There's trouble in River City. Trouble indeed.
Well, you know, this guy ran for everything under the sun until he got elected to a judgeship, and he did. He's a new judge, and
Off to a great start, I'd
I'll
say.
just read you the headline. Murder victim's family furious after judge allows suspect to remove ankle monitor due to leg irritation.
Yeah, Judge, this ankle monitor, it's chafing me. I want to take it off. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Why, sure.
Kevin Dukes is his name. He's awaiting trial for allegedly killing Julius Thomas in 2018, and he asked, actually he probably axed, but he axed to have his ankle monitor removed due to leg irritation, and Judge Tarvald Smith granted the request. So the monitor came off, and Smith ordered that the defendant be tracked by
Cell phone monitoring.
Yeah.
Cell phone monitoring. What could possibly go wrong with that? Mm-hmm. Hey, you call the number. Is this Kevin? Why, yes.
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is.
I'm sitting here watching Judge Judy. Okay,
You know, I
then.
mean, because Mr. Dukes couldn't possibly hand his phone to someone else and go take a ride. You know, cell phone, of course, has a GPS tracking device, so, with proper software, proper app, they would be able to tell where the cell phone was at any given time. But then all you got to do is leave it home, right?
Or if it's one of these, it's a little smarter than most, and if it doesn't move for like 2 hours when it's not normally bedtime, it calls you. But you can just put it on the dog and have the dog wander around the house.
Now, Judge Smith, by the way, says that cell phone monitoring does work. This is a system that involves the defendant having to download an app onto his phone that periodically checks in. So, and he says it does work. But still, the family is upset that the man who allegedly murdered their family member gets to walk around free. Is he a flight risk? I would assume that they would think he was a flight risk, or they wouldn't put him on ankle monitoring.
Well, yeah, I'm surprised he got bail. But I think the victim's sister, Ms. Jocelyn Davis, has a point. Here's what she said. He decided that he would take off his ankle monitor because it was getting expensive. You have to pay to be ankle monitored.
Yep.
And he said he had health issues, which was diabetes causing spots on his leg.
Okay.
Now, she said the DA opposed this. The DA on this case, the assistant DA actually, said it's a major murder case, do not take it off. The judge decided he would take it off anyway.
Wow.
Now, Judge Smith declined to do an on-camera interview with Chris Nakamoto. Do you blame him? But he did speak in generalities and said it's rare that he puts someone on cell phone monitoring for a major felony case. He said GPS ankle monitors are the preference. He's only been a judge for what? 12 weeks? How rare can it be?
12?
Oh, he's a brand new judge.
6 weeks, maybe.
Yeah.
Aren't they sworn in on the first business day of the year?
Yeah.
So the guy, like I said, he's certainly off to a rollicking start.
Well, it's not like he's got 20 years experience on the bench and he's got some data that says, well, I've done this 6 times and I've never had a problem. Mm-hmm. All right, then I might give him a little credibility.
Oh, well. So there it is. I don't know what the family is due back. Well, the defendant's due back in court in May. The family is asking the judge to put him back on some kind of effective monitoring system. So
I just don't. If I'm the judge and you say, oh, Your Honor, this ankle bracelet is chafing my leg and I got diabetes, I'm going to say, maybe you should have thought about that before you shot Julius Thomas
before you allegedly
and
shot
dumped
Julius.
him at the corner of Old Hammond and South Flannery in December of 2018. You probably should have thought of that before. Or here's some Vaseline. Put it on your leg under the ankle monitor. And you'll probably need to learn to use it elsewhere after you're convicted. But for right now, just...
Woo!
What? Too
Whoa.
soon?
Hey now. Hey now.
No, never.
So anyway, that's
That gotta be me.
as I said, Judge Smith off to a rollicking start here with raising people's eyebrows. We already have enough problems with people thinking that the judiciary is soft on crime in East Baton Rouge Parish. There have been things before. There have been judges before that people thought were soft on crime. We have a big enough problem with this as it is, and it's the optics of the thing. It's like, don't make it
I
look bad.
don't like judges monitoring conditions of bail simply because the defendant asks for it and when the prosecutor opposes it because it's a serious felony. I think that is bad practice. Now, if he had developed gas gangrene and was going to need a foot amputated, then I might,
If he'd committed an armed robbery in which nobody was hurt, and the judge said, yeah, okay, all right, he's back on the ankle monitor, but he's accused of murdering somebody and then trying to cover it up by dumping the body someplace.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I do not agree with a major felony like a murder with the judge altering the bail without the consent of the people through the prosecutor.
Well, what it says to me, with my limited knowledge of the law and jurisprudence, is the judge isn't taking the murder charge seriously.
Well,
that's what it tells me.
we don't know who else was heard on this case. Maybe a relative of the accused spoke and said, come on, you know the family, they're a good family, they'll keep an eye on him, he's not going to run. And maybe that happened, and maybe it's even true, but it still doesn't change what I think the procedure should be. Because justice is not also supposed to be blind, it's supposed to be deaf. If you got arrested for something, God forbid, and they gave you a bail that was reasonable, and I call him and said, look, I've known Kevin now for 10 years. There's something
Lock him up.
Throw his... there's something... I've never seen him even have a violent outburst of speech. There must be something else going on. I think you can trust him at a lower bail. That, in my opinion, even though it would come from the heart, should not be heard. If the DA opposes a reduction in any of the terms of the bail, the judge ought to say, alrighty then, next case.
See, I don't think that judges always feel like they're working in concert with a district attorney. And it's like, you guys are all part of the same system.
Well,
are you not supposed to work together and see to it that law and order is upheld?
There are certain justices that also, judges that also try to impose their idea of social justice. This is supposed to be pretty black and white.
Time for another break. Let's take care of some business. And when we come back, our guest is Mike Manning, the head of the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank. Coming up.
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf and Country Club, a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to greystonecountryclub.com.
From appetizers, pasta dishes, and entrees, La Contea takes pride in preparing all the Italian cuisine we know you love. Enjoy live music every Thursday through Saturday from 6 to 9, happy hour weekdays from 3 to 6, and brunch on Sundays from 11 to 2, as well as dinner portion-sized lunch specials for under $10. Visit our website to view our menu and book a party or meeting in our large banquet room. Once you try La Contea, your Italian dining will change forever.
No one can stop me when I taste the feeling. Nothing could ever bring me down. Nothing could ever bring me down. Taste the feeling.
Hi, I am Dr. Farrell Frugier Jr., and I am a general dentist at Frugier Family Dentistry. I was born and raised in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I went to Catholic High School, LSU, and LSU School of Dentistry in New Orleans, where I received my DDS degree in 1986. I always have and will continue to be committed to continuing my education, to invest in technology which makes the diagnosis and delivery of dentistry more thorough, more comfortable, and more aesthetically pleasing. In our practice, we are here to serve the patients. We want to improve their quality of life and to develop relationships with our patients. In dentistry, we have a chance to impact lives on a daily basis, not just by doing dentistry, but by getting to know them and being a part of their life. We also believe in giving back to our community. So every year, we give back to the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank, Toys for Tots, and Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center. Please stop by and visit our office. We would love to take care of you and your family.
Team Honda wants to thank you for once again making us Louisiana's #1 new car dealer by offering you never-before-seen savings. For the first time ever, get 0% financing up to 60 months on some of your favorite Honda models. Get thousands in savings right now at Team Honda on Segan Lane.
Welcome back to Exiles TV. Glad to have you along with us this morning. Kevin Gallagher, Bill Propita in the center chair, a familiar face. Mike Manning, who is the president and CEO of the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank. Mike, glad to have you back with us.
Good to be with you. I apologize. Everybody's going to have to deal with seeing the real me and not a mask me. So.
No mask today.
The mask to me.
So when last we spoke, we were going into the holiday season, which is always crunch time for the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank. And we know that the public stepped up pretty good, pretty well, I should say, during the holidays, because that's just kind of the way it goes. Now we get into the very middle of the winter season, and how are things at the food bank today?
Well, it's pretty hectic. I mean, we're continuing with significant number of distributions. It's on an ongoing basis. The need's still out there. Uptick in cases hasn't helped us. We had hoped we would be turning around better, but it's taken a little longer for us to be able to really have the significant impact.
Well, you know, it's very hard right now for any nonprofit to really count on the donors from last year, because the donors from last year were impacted by COVID early last year.
Right, exactly.
It's, you know, you get the old heartstrings at Thanksgiving and Christmas, but you don't have much to deal with in January and February. And what are you hearing from the donors, and what are you hearing from the development people that are trying to meet with these donors and trying to get some funding in at this particular difficult time?
Well, there's very limited opportunities to meet with donors because of COVID.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people who would be able to make major gifts from a financial perspective are of the age that they're not taking visitors, they're not meeting with people, they're not going out to eat, they're playing it safe. And until we get to a point that we're beyond COVID, fundraising is going to be challenging. So we've turned to a lot, continuing our direct mail efforts, a lot of online efforts. We're just scurrying to find the money to continue to stay at providing food at the levels we are right now.
Are area grocers continuing to help you out where and when they can?
Yeah, they are, but you know, people are eating at home now. They're not, you know, just starting to really get back to restaurants, and a lot of people aren't. So the grocery challenge continues, and the price challenge, and you know, who knows what we're going to be facing with this economy, with layoffs, shutdowns of the plant in St. James Parish, I mean, in Convent. What's next, and what's going to be the next impact for us going forward?
You had mentioned before that one of the things that you were very successful at up until COVID was being able to negotiate and make deals for the excess food. But the last time you were with us, you said now there's competition for that excess food.
Yeah, there has been, and it's kind of leveled off because I think the suppliers have adjusted to the new market, if you will, the new grocery market. So we've seen some changes. It's just that it's still that uncertainty. We don't know what prices are going to do. We don't know what processing is going to look like. With still COVID implications at plants and other things, we can see supplies take much longer. So you place your order and it doesn't get in the usual time frame. It's delayed because the plant shut down. So it's really been, really challenging to keep a handle on things.
I don't think in all the times that we've had on-air conversations or in any of our personal conversations, I've never asked this question.
Okay.
I know there's a number, an average number of what it costs in food and cash every month to operate a food bank that serves 10 parishes. What is that number generally?
Well, in past years, I would have said it's about $3.5 to $4 million.
A month?
A year.
A year.
Okay. But now we're
That's
looking
still
at,
huge.
you know, with food purchases, we're going to be spending probably almost $1.8 million on food purchases this year, just to keep pace. And we've never had to do purchasing at that level in the history of the food bank since I've been there. So this is uncharted territory for us, and that's why there's a lot of uncertainty and trying to maximize every dollar. But you know, that significantly impacts our budget when you look at our normal operating budget, just cash budget, not when we have to bring in the value of food and other things to do our income statement, donated food and federal food and that sort of thing. But just our cash operating budget is around $4 million. So when you got to add 1.8 on top, it continues to grow to be a very big number.
It's hard for strapped donors to make that up.
Yeah.
And I'm guessing that due to COVID and unemployment, you are probably, in terms of people you serve, probably up 10, 12%?
It's easy. If you talk pre-COVID, we're probably up 50 to 60%.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Now it's ebbed and flowed as federal government money has come in and gone out. It's come down a little bit and come back up. But right now, where there's not a lot of significant dollars out there for these people while they're not working.
Plus, you're just seeing more than what you're used to having come to you and say, "Could you give me a hand, please?"
Yeah.
You're seeing people that were self-sufficient before this, when their income was unimpeded.
We're seeing people that used to be donors.
Well,
Really? Wow.
Yeah, and well, there's part of the calculus I think a lot of people at home don't understand, and that part of the calculus is you weren't responsible largely for feeding school children 2 of their meals each day when school was still in session. With kids being homeschooled, I know that the East Baton Rouge Parish School Board, I don't know about the other parishes you serve, tried to provide some daily meals, but I'm guessing that you are having to pick up or trying to pick up the slack on these school kids that are eating at home.
Well, the school system's doing a great job because they're really ramping it up to make sure that meals are available for kids. But what we worry about are the brothers and sisters.
Yeah.
Because if you feed one child who's going to school, what about their younger siblings? What about their grandparents who are taking care of them?
Sorry, only Mikey gets to eat.
So,
You two, not so much.
We go back to our backpack program that we started years ago because of kids in school bringing food home. Well, they were bringing it to somebody, and it's the same situation. So we're still doing our backpack program to help kids over the weekend, even though a lot of the school systems are stepping up. Not all of them in our service area, but East Baton Rouge and several of the others are looking at it to try to make sure that they can provide more meals that the federal government's allowing them to provide.
Ballpark me right now, how many boxes, like family-sized boxes, are you moving a week?
That depends on agencies. Some agencies do it every other month, that sort of thing. But we're pushing probably between 300,000 and 500,000 pounds of food a week.
Whoa!
And that's up from, we used to average about 250. And our good months, when we have a good long month and we've got, agencies running, we do it about, it's grown that much.
Yeah, but again, as you put out these many pounds of food, you're also, again, people don't understand the calculus. Your fuel for your trucks, your fuel burn increases.
Energy. Electricity.
Your electricity increases. Your cold storage cost increases. Even your forklifts, the propane that they run on, that is increasing because they're moving more.
Well, we've had to add more equipment. We have some trucks leased. We have some trailers leased for additional storage. Even though we just last year created a new refrigerator and converted our old refrigerator into a freezer to gain more space, we still are renting trailers outside to store product.
Wow.
Just because of the volumes. And it's challenging because, our people have been at this since, early last year, and here, we're pushing a year now, and we've been at this pace. And how long can they continue the pace? Will the National Guard still be available to help us after March? We know we've got them through March, but what happens when we get to mid-March and it's time for them to go, or do we get them extended? They're a tremendous force multiplier. Otherwise, we're going to have to bring people on board.
Well, at this time, we've made it through the holiday season, and I know every nonprofit got a little bit of a bump, but now those that can still donate are going to have to prioritize their donations. Right. And that's a very difficult situation for you or anybody else that's running a nonprofit. Give to me instead of them, theirs can wait. Nobody wants to be in the position of saying that. But the donors are saying, I've got this many dollars. Should I give it to the food bank? Should I give it to Families Helping Families of Greater Baton Rouge? Should I give it to the Red Cross? And it even splits the hair finer, I think.
Well, and overlay on top of that the uncertainty of a new administration. And are people going to give, or are they going to hold back to, protect themselves a little bit
I think
until they figure out what's going to happen?
Yeah, there are some of us that are anticipating that the cost of almost everything is going to go up. And also taxes are going to go up. That's the fear of a lot of people who, of course, didn't vote for this administration. So yeah, I would worry that a lot of people who might be disposed to share some of their income with you might be holding on to it to see what's going to happen in 9 months.
Well, and also I read an analysis on this the other day, I think it was in Forbes, that you have a smaller discretionary dollar now. And that doesn't matter if you're a very well-to-do person, very upper middle class, or if you're in lower middle class, your discretionary dollar seems to you to be smaller. And what this analysis was saying, more people are taking a piece of that discretionary dollar and they're using it for entertainment because they've got cabin fever. So they're buying the 72-inch plasma that they really didn't need because they're binging on Netflix, when they might have given a couple hundred of that to United Way or the food bank or the Red Cross. Yeah. It's a difficult situation that you and your contemporaries, your colleagues in other nonprofits are having to deal with.
Yeah. And it's not just that type of entertainment. Alcohol consumption's up, creating potential problems down the road where these people who have been working from home may lose their job if they're not performing because there's an addiction problem of some sort. So, there's so much uncertainty about where we're going to go, what the economy is going to do. It's really challenging for us to have to face that uncertainty on top of dealing with the COVID uncertainty.
We're going to take a brief break. We're going to come back and talk about, we're going to speculate on some solutions. Our guest, Mike Manning, who is the president and CEO of the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank, serve 11 parishes, and all of them in our viewing area, by the way. So if you will stay with us, we're going to try to get you the best information we can on Exiles TV.
Belello's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent. Depend on us for service, for selection, for price. Get huge Whirlpool savings. Shop now and save on Whirlpool appliances throughout the store. Plus, experience our price match guarantee and ask about special financing. You can depend on the know-how of people who live appliances every day. Belello's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent with nationwide buying power.
Hello guys, it's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
Hi, I'm Hurricane Betsy Barnes.
And I'm Dr. Kay Siller with The Rocket Right Show.
We are two busy blondes on the go showing off life in Louisiana.
Watch us on Pelican Sports Network.
and Talk 107.3 FM. Check local listings for times.
Of all the auto brands on the road today, only one has been named the best auto brand for 6 straight years. That brand is Mazda. Come shop and save on the award-winning lineup of new Mazdas right now at Baton Rouge's Mazda dealer, Team Mazda on Airline.
I owed the IRS $10,000.
The IRS garnished my wages.
They put a lien on my house.
I'm self-employed and didn't report all my income. They claim I owe a lot more than I do.
The IRS is the most powerful collection agency in the world. They do not give up until you pay.
I couldn't sleep. We were being audited. I called Tax Solutions Now, and a great big weight was lifted off my shoulders.
I called Tax Solutions Now, and they got the IRS off my back.
Tax Solutions Now had my wage garnishment lifted in 48 hours.
Tax Solutions Now can get you help. Our agents know the rules, can stop the pain, and get you the best deal.
Tax Solutions Now saved my business.
I qualified for the Fresh Start program. I paid less than I owed.
We connect you with a team of former IRS agents and tax professionals who get the IRS off your back. Time is running out. Call Tax Solutions now.
Call 800-778-4345. 800-778-4345.
We're back with Exiles TV. No matter what happens with COVID, no matter who's president, no matter what's going on in foreign nations, the need to feed people continues, not only here, but everywhere. If you're just tuning in, we're talking with Mike Manning. He's the president and CEO of the Greater Baton Rouge Area Food Bank, serves 10 parishes in the capital region. And the challenges of doing something charitable, especially important work like this. We're not talking about trying to raise money for some research to maybe someday cure a disease. We're talking about keeping people from starving.
Tonight.
Yeah.
Tonight. We're all looking for solutions. There are a lot of people in this city that think about you and the other, what I call major nonprofits that perform community service every single day. And we're wondering where the solutions are. And I wonder, what about, as Joe Pesci would say, these youths? We have a lot of young people now that, because they've been cooped up and they're looking at the world, they'd like to be socially responsible. They're part of the major part of these GoFundMe campaigns and things like that. Is there an avenue for you to get younger people that might buy into what the food bank does and become donors over a long period of time?
We're already doing that. We're trying to make inroads in that area, especially, we have young children who, for their birthday party, are asking people to bring food or money for the food bank as opposed to presents. So it's already out there. People are sensitive to it, and it's really, we look at corporations. We see a lot of the young people in corporations coming out and volunteering.
Mm-hmm.
They're taking their day of they get a day to volunteer, and they come to the food bank or they go to another nonprofit, and they're trying to give back. And then you'll see a small check from them at a later date.
I was going to say, I bet a lot of them leave some money too.
Yeah. And there are all these GoFundMe things, and I'll just look at the Joe Burrow effect from his speech at the Heisman Trophy.
Yeah.
I mean, that had a tremendous effect on that food bank, but it also helped us because others said, well, wait, let's take care of our own while we're at it.
Mm-hmm.
So, those types of things are really game changers from the standpoint of raising awareness and catching fire from a fundraising perspective.
There's also to be considered the cumulative effect of the individual signing up for $40 a month. Mm-hmm. $40 a month. 20 out of each paycheck could, and you could do it with automatic bank drafts, because the technology's all in place. And those individual $20 or $40 checks coming in, when you start stacking them up, like the man once said, pretty soon you're talking real money.
Children's Miracle Network in this market, and in a great many markets, lived on 12 by 12, $12 a month. Yep. They equated it to one pizza a month, and it resonated with people. But when you got 40,000 people doing that, that's a lot of money.
Well, and it's a great opportunity because people don't feel, I only have this little bit. But I can give you this, maybe I'll skip coffees a few days during the month, and I can give you this every month.
Mm-hmm.
And we're seeing more of that. More of our donors are asking to be monthly donors and support us throughout the year.
That's good to hear.
One of the things that I've never heard you do when things were tightening up I have never, ever heard you do the Louisiana Department of Health people will die speech. I've never heard you say, if we don't get to this point, we're going to have to start cutting back services. And I'm really amazed, and I know the kind of guy you are, and I know you don't ever want to have to say that, but can we sustain this long term at this level?
Define long term.
Next year?
We could probably make it through next year. I'll tell you this, you know, it's sort of like when Hurricane Katrina, when we emptied the warehouse, I said, it's going to refill, they're going to show up. And then the trucks would show up to refill it. After the flood, when so many people stepped up to help us. This community cares about its neighbors. They don't see race, they don't see religion, they don't see anything but their neighbors in need. This community has always risen to the task. I don't worry about it. I trust in two things in this business. I trust that there is someone that's watching over us, and I trust that the community is going to get the message from that person and step up to help. No matter what we face, no matter what disaster, flood, hurricane, whatever it is, this community will come together and will rise up and make whatever they need to do to help address the need. We're getting to a point now that it's ongoing awareness, where people are aware that we've got this situation year round, not just when something happens, bad happens. So we're really starting to see more and more people rally to help us.
You know, I understand what you're saying, and it makes me feel good, but there's also a part of it. You're one of a group of small people, a small group of people, not small people. You're
I thought you were going to give me a compliment there, yeah?
You're part of a small group of people who may have been in a position where they probably should have, would have, could have said no, but you don't. You, Mike Acaldo, the major over at Salvation Army are three that come to mind right away, that you don't ever say no. And I hope to God you're never in a position where you have to break that and say no.
Now, when we were doing distributions for COVID, we'd run out. But that was a limitation of how much we could bring to a distribution. It wasn't a limitation of us getting the food. So we've just got to continue to get the food so we can't say no. You know, people are depending on us to, we can't say no.
Well, and again, having that attitude is a big part of it. In the short term, to get us to summertime, where I don't know if the demand spikes or doesn't at summertime, or if it levels off, we may all be actually taking vacations again by summertime and all that.
Cross our fingers and hope.
Do you think your need is going to shrink a little bit, maybe even 1 or 2% by summertime?
Well, it's going to be different than normal years, just like it was last year. Because what about school? I mean, are kids really back in school? Are they going to extend school? Because traditionally we see the need go up during the summer because kids are out of school. Is that what we're going to face this year? Or are they going to be in school? We've already been facing it to some degree because of COVID, with a lot of kids still doing virtual learning. But they were shut down. Schools were shut down for a period of time, and we saw the increased need. So, it may not be our traditional cycle, as we say, we usually raise money in the holidays, and that tides us over until we can get to like September, when kids get back in school and it starts coming back up again. So September through December is usually the fundraising time, big fundraising time for us, and that's every year. And that's what we use to tide us over through the months when people aren't thinking about us. To your point earlier, January, it's February, etc. But the demand has a similar cycle, where usually toward the holidays there's increased demand, but there's also increased demand during the summer. And we're seeing it kind of be a level demand, that it's not going to, we don't know if it's going to ramp up and increase that much more during the summer. We're thinking it will, but we're in uncharted territory. We don't know what we don't know. We don't know what the future's going to be.
Mike, apart from the resources to actually get the product in order to distribute it, are there any problems with production distribution? I mean, are you having trouble getting food if you have money to procure it.
I mentioned it earlier, we're seeing some delays from time to time. It's really just, the availability has gotten much better as manufacturers have adjusted their processing and their planning. And it's really just, again, uncertainty about, is COVID going to change, and are we going to have a variant that's going to shut those processing plants down?
Yep.
What about trucking? Trucking's getting more and more expensive. What are fuel costs going to look like for transportation to bring food in? Those all build on top of that price to buy a canned good, even at wholesale. When you start looking at those numbers, the impact could be really significant on us.
Incremental increases.
Yeah, exactly.
Before we go, we got a minute and a half. Please tell everybody in great detail all the ways they can get funds or food to you. And funds are more important. I'm going to save Mike the trouble of saying that. They can make $1, $10. So, Mike, tell them how they do it.
Well, the easiest thing to do is go to our website. You can donate online. You can set up a food drive online, or you can set up to schedule a volunteer opportunity online. So it's the easiest way to do it. But any way you can do it. You can mail it in. You can put it on your credit card if you want to take the rewards points. Any number of ways possible. There are many opportunities, and we'd be glad to help anybody try to help us.
The website URL is
www.brfoodbank.org.
brfoodbank.org, and you will have an opportunity there if you want to put your credit or debit card in. And I don't care if you want to do $5 a month.
We'll take it.
If you want to do 25, great. You want to do 50, even better. But if you want to do just $5 a month, that will help more than you. Let me tell you what, that is a lot more than $60 worth of help. Think of it this way. That's about $600 worth of help. So please, as they say, give early and give often. Mike, we want to see you again sometime soon, and hope that we can help you with a little bit of donor acquisition and some food acquisition. But to you and your staff, thanks for the great job you do every single day.
Thank you. Thank you both for having us.
Take care, Mike, and we'll see you again real soon. Another quick break. We'll be back to wrap things up on Exiles TV.
Caught spiders? Premier Pest Services.
We're making 2021 the year of savings, and it starts right now at Team Toyota. Come get a new 21 Corolla for just $189 a month, or get a 20 Camry for just $19,995. It's a year full of savings starting right now, right here at Team Toyota.
Hi, I am Dr. Farrell Frugier Jr., and I am a general dentist at Frugier Family Dentistry. I was born and raised in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I went to Catholic High School, LSU, and LSU School of Dentistry in New Orleans, where I received my DDS degree in 1986. I always have and will continue to be committed to continuing my education, to invest in technology which makes the diagnosis and delivery of dentistry more thorough, more comfortable, and more aesthetically pleasing. In our practice, we are here to serve the patients. We want to improve their quality of life and to develop relationships with our patients. In dentistry, we have a chance to impact lives on a daily basis, not just by doing dentistry, but by getting to know them and being a part of their life. We also believe in giving back to our community. So every year, we give back to the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank, Toys for Tots, and Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center. Please stop by and visit our office. We would love to take care of you and your family.
From appetizers, pasta dishes, and entrees, La Contea takes pride in preparing all the Italian cuisine we know you love. Enjoy live music every Thursday through Saturday from 6 to 9, happy hour weekdays from 3 to 6, and brunch on Sundays from 11 to 2, as well as dinner portion-sized lunch specials for under $10. Visit our website to view our menu and book a party or meeting in our large banquet room. Once you try La Contea, your Italian dining will change forever.
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf and Country Club, a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to GreystoneCountryClub.com.
Hi, business owners. Phase 3. Woohoo! But do your customers know you're back? Well, that's where the Clarence Bugg Show and Pelican Broadcasting can help. Right now, we've got great rates on advertising packages to help you get the word out. Shoot me an email at bugsclarence@gmail.com. Or better yet, call me up. I'd love to talk with you. 225-485-6839. Let's get together and make Phase 3 the best it can possibly be.
Got termites? Get Premier Pest. PremierPestServices.com.
Hello, we're back with
Welcome
Exiles
back.
TV. Those of you who are fans of pop music, especially pop music from what I consider to be one of the greatest periods in American recording history, the 60s, the Motown sound, will be sad to know that Mary Wilson, who was the longest reigning member of the original Supremes, has passed away. She was 76 years of age.
She must have been a kid when they first got together.
She was just but a teenage girl when things first got started with her, Diana Ross, and Florence Flo Ballard. They had that big string of hits, and then Ballard left the group in 1967, Cindy Birdsong stepping in to take her place. But the Supremes were as much a part of the American sound as the Beach Boys, the Temptations, any band. I mean, think about it. The Supremes defined a whole genre of music.
Well,
the girl group.
Oh yeah, when you talk about standing on the shoulders of giants, between the Supremes, the original three, Flo and Mary and Diana, and Gordy Berry, who was their producer. Berry Gordy, excuse me. Everybody that came after them, people like Martha Reeves and the Vandellas, you know, they were recording, but they didn't have hits until the Supremes cracked the charts.
Well, there were girl groups. The girl trio was a thing before the Supremes, but none of them really caught on. I mean, I'm thinking of the Dixie Cups from New Orleans, and there were some others, but they didn't really catch on and become a thing, a part of the national music identity like the Supremes did. And maybe it was because these are three really hot girls that really sang well.
Oh yeah.
But,
And they had great material, great music, you know.
They always looked like $1 million when they were on television.
And what I used to love, and of course I was in radio near the end of their immense popularity, not that they didn't stay popular, was when they would team up with the huge Motown guy groups like the Temptations.
The Supremes and the Temptations.
And they also did one with the Four Tops as well. And those guys were just begging to perform with the Supremes.
In my collection of vinyl, which I still have, by the way, I have an album called The Supremes, The Temptations, TCB. It's one of the very few cases I can recall where a television special spawned a record album. But all those songs they performed during that television special were on that album.
That huge hit, I'm Gonna Make You Love Me, came off of that. And that was just a monstrous piece of music. Again, that was one of those when you're a DJ, you love playing it because you don't stay in your seat. You're up, you're moving.
As an oldies DJ and an oldies radio station program director for many years, I had a lot of my favorites. Up the Ladder to the Roof was one of my favorites. Come See About Me, Baby Love. I mean, there's so many. There's just so many incredible songs recorded by the Temptations.
Mary Wilson, by the way, played Baton Rouge. And I was fortunate enough to be there back when the Baton Rouge Symphony Orchestra used to have what they called a festival night. It was a big fundraiser, and they would have some very big singer or group of singers come and play with them at Hemmingbaugh, the beautiful plantation.
Oh yeah, love to go out.
Near St. Francisville.
Love to go out and see those concerts at Hemmingbaugh.
Mary Wilson played. This is probably 20 years ago. And it was like, well, she's going to take a break any minute now and then come back for. She did the first set, she did an hour on her feet, never missing a note. She took a half an hour as she put it, y'all go refill your drinks, I'm coming back. Came back in a half an hour and then did another hour, and then did 2 encores.
But,
amazing performance.
By the way, those of you who may be thinking, because I mentioned the longest reigning member of the Supremes died at 76, Mary Wilson. And so, but Diana Ross is still with us. Yes, Diana Ross is very much alive and well. The thing is, Diana Ross left the Supremes and went as a solo act, and the Supremes went on without her. So, very much saying the longest reigning member of the Supremes, Mary Wilson, is accurate. But it's sad. We're reaching that phase where the really greats of entertainment are starting to pass on by.
There are, I think one of the things about them, and I liked a lot of those groups. I liked the Ronettes, and I liked Martha Reeves and the Vandellas, and the Dixie Cups. Nobody ever mistook the Supremes for another one of those bands. The Supremes were so unique that they were all by themselves, and it's a shame. We're about out of time here, but thanks so much for joining us. Clarence Buggs is coming your way next, and don't forget, watch the replay at 10 o'clock tonight. Until that time,
God bless.
bye-bye.
Bye.